This award category was created to celebrate and recognize superior contributions of educators whose leadership and dedication inspired a spirit of learning in students of all backgrounds and abilities outside of the traditional education system and classroom. It's intended to honor educators who are dedicated to our youth but may not possess a Minnesota teaching license. So as you heard from Ron and you saw in a video today, National History Day is an incredible educational experience for students. With this in mind, we have a new award winner this year. It is our pleasure to award the first Excellence in Education Award to Mr. Tim Hoogland of the Minnesota Historical Society. For his dedication to the History Day program. I thought it was so cute over here when all of a sudden, you introduce yourself and you're like, oh, it's Mr. History, Mr. History Day. So I thought that was really cute. So this award, as I said, comes as a surprise to Tim. So he didn't have the opportunity to have a prepared speech, but we're still going to put you on the spot. But as he collects his thoughts and gets ready, maybe you want to make a few notes right now, wink, wink, and chastises those around him for keeping this secret. Let me tell you a little about him. Tim is a co-coordinator of History Day in Minnesota and a manager of education outreach services at the Minnesota Historical Society. He has been with the History Day program for over 20 years. In this time, participation in History Day has increased from 125 students to nearly 30,000 students each year. Nina Archibald and I actually had a couple conversations on the phone, and I know we tried so hard to make sure that you didn't find out, and I hope you didn't. And your wife was very helpful too, and Whitney and Betty were helping us all this way here too. And I'm going to tell you that you have separate programs on your desk, or your desk on your table, than everybody else in this room. And I got to thinking, having a little bit of a panic attack, thinking, oh, please don't anybody congratulate him later. You can have that one. But anyway, Nina, with the Historical Society, she's the director there, and she told us Tim is a grown-up version of his History Day kids, full of anticipation and enthusiasm. Anyway, would you please come up and give us some views.
Something though, because I usually don't get a letter from Betty and Vicky anticipating a specific calendar date. But even though I don't have anything prepared, I mean, you can just listen to all the honorees who've gone through this podium before I did here, and there are really some common themes. And number one, you don't have to wait for Superman; they're already here. I haven't seen the movie yet, I only heard a little bit about it, but that's why I always feel I stumbled into it totally accidentally, into the greatest job anybody could ever have. When I do teacher workshops, I always have to do the mea culpa, which is I never have been, nor will I ever be, a classroom teacher. I don't do what you do. I may rent your students for about an hour and have the funny hats, but I'm giving them right back to you. But then my job is to make sure that we can do whatever we can do to support those teachers in the classrooms, because it's not an easy job. And I'm blessed in that I get to represent really two incredible organizations, both the Minnesota Historical Society and the University of Minnesota. And these are two organizations older than the state itself, and that they have at least believed in some of the work that I've been able to do in a way to really make a difference for teachers and kids over and over and over and again. And and it's that journey of 23 years to see that unfold. And as I was telling Betty earlier, there are even just little things, little decisions along the way. Because I remember when we first opened up the History Center, Nina told me that the genealogists were mad because History Day kids were showing up in the library to do their projects, and they are wiggly and squirrely and do all these things, and they wanted rules about children. And Nina said, no. That these are the students that are going to be the future, not only future members or things like that, or future teachers like Ron, But I do remember all these moments where, you know, we get to go into these classrooms and to see teachers like Ron or Scott, or even all these students who have come to work for me over time. And thank God for Facebook. It's a lot easier to track them down to find out what they're up to these days. So I'm very humbled by this honor, and would like to thank Betty and Whitney and Nina and President Brunix and the people at the University of Minnesota, and especially my wife Glenda and our 2 daughters. It always was fun to be able to call them up on stage at History Day, because you know, you got your 2 daughters, but if you got 30,000 kids, it's hard to sometimes pay attention enough to the family demands, as all the educators in the room know. So thank you very much, and maybe I can get those twins to work for me someday. I think I'd have to take them as a package deal. Thank you.